Manchester, shocked to the core by a bomb attack which killed indiscriminately and senselessly. Yet the city has emerged defiant and united.
Because this is the place in our hearts, in our homes.
For this week's Songs of Praise, I'm in this great northern city to reflect on events as the people who live here and all of us come to terms with what's happened. We talk to the paramedics who were first on the scene.
I've been to lots of traumatic incidents, but nothing on the scale of this. It wasn't until I got home and just sat down and I just burst into tears.
One of the victim's friends pays tribute to him.
He saw the good in everyone and he will never be forgotten.
And faith leaders unite against the terrorists.
They shouldn't say God is on their side. They should be on God's side. And on God's side is love, mercy, justice.
Choose love, Manchester. Thank you.
When we hear shocking news on a national scale, all of us struggle with what to say or do. And it's at times like these that many of us turn to the church for reassurance and comfort. And the familiar words of our first hymn, recorded here at Manchester Cathedral, reflect just that. The shock and the trauma that hit Manchester, and us all, has been raw and visceral.
I just want to be here today to just say, for the families, we are praying for you. We will continue to pray.
I became very emotional. Even my heart, I feel, is shivering because it's what's happened to the innocent people. They are children. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother as well. And what's happened to these innocent people, it's happened to me. I can feel it.
But amidst the grief and the pain, there's been something else. Defiance.
There's hard times again in these streets of our city. but we won't take defeat. And we don't want your pity, because this is the place where we stand strong together with a smile on our face. Mancunians forever.
We made a baby gopher today, saying that hate won't tear us apart. Even though there's some bad people in the world, there's, 99% of us are really good people, and that's what matters.
I had to be here because it's such a gathering of people of not necessarily only my Christian faith, but of all faiths. Faith is all these people around, isn't it? Faith is there, it's in your heart. God is all around us.
As the days have passed, and in the midst of fear, suffering and grief, Mancunians have pulled together. People have shared their homes, offered lifts, and even queued up to give blood following the attack. There's a real sense of a community coming together.
Please, any drinks, anything, it's all free. Please help yourself.
I was in Manchester in my taxi. People didn't have any money. People didn't have any form of transport to get to the hospitals. So I picked the first one up, said I've got no money. I said, doesn't matter. And that's what I was doing all night.
Manchester Cathedral, a short distance from the site of the bomb blast, was closed for 2 days. So the city's clergy went out onto the streets instead.
I have a book of condolence here that we put out on the street for people to sign at our midday prayers. And there's a very lovely message here, praying that we might all be active peacemakers to overcome all that disrupts and destroys community.
On Thursday morning, the cathedral reopened its doors. Once again, it's become a sanctuary of prayer and reflection for everyone. I met 2 of the city's faith leaders inside the cathedral.
I think although there's a lot of grief, a lot of distress, a lot of anger, that's been channeled in very positive ways. And people are hugging each other, they're holding hands, they're lighting candles. They're coming out into the city and affirming that this is our city and no terrorist is going to take it away from us.
There is absolutely nothing in our traditions at all, categorically, that can justify, allow, or even encourage, the actions of these people. We are peace-loving people, we are men of God together in unison, and we are not going to be deterred by this menace.
Now, both of you now, do you have a message for the Christian community here? Do you have a message for the Muslim community here?
I think my message for my Christian brothers and sisters is a message of peace and hope and prayer. Standing here in this great cathedral, we can never allow extremists, wherever they are, from wherever they come from, to allow this beautiful tradition of ours of love and harmony to be thwarted and divided.
My message to the Muslim community would be simply that you are Manchester just as we are Manchester. You're as much a part of Manchester this week as you were last week. You're as much a part of the solution to the problems of our present generation as you were last week, and nothing will come between us and prevent us working together to be the way forward for Manchester and beyond. And I do believe that together we can, in Manchester, set a beacon, a standard that others can follow.
It's been a real pleasure spending time with both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
You are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour